Yeah. I think I was at a point in my life when I was just willing to listen to whatever you guys said. So when we went on that,
You tell everybody, listen to us. Yeah.
He's a coachable.
yeah. So,
Aloha and welcome to the Investing in Hawaii podcast. My name is Zasha Smith.
I'm Twinkle Toes. How are you guys doing today? I'm Fuzzy Jardine. Aloha and welcome to the show.
Today we have a very special guest, Keola, who has been an inspiration to us as far as the action he has taken, how he has not made any excuses on why he can't get started investing in real estate, and also has been a great leader to our community. So thank you for being on today with us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Mahalo for coming.
yeah. Mahalo.
We wanted to talk to you about, your upbringing, where you're from, and then where you're at today.
So I grew up in Palama. Humble beginnings. Spent a lot of my time at Palama Settlement, playing football and basketball. My mom, single parent, 7 kids she raised. So
7.
Wow,
Yeah.
big family.
very humble beginnings. Yeah, but that's where I'm from. I grew up in Palama.
It's Palama Settlement, so a lot of, we know that area, right? It's a lot of gangsters going on in the hood, right? So How was that growing up?
Yeah, when I played football, probably about half our team was either from Marriott Housing, Kefort Housing, like all the different housings. But yeah, I mean, you learn something from everybody. So learn to be a little bit more street smart,
There
probably.
you go. That's what I was going to say.
Try to learn right from wrong. Learned that through some mistakes. But yeah, I think I wouldn't trade it for anything. That was a great upbringing in a community like that.
Awesome. So where are you at today? Maybe give us a little bit about.
So I'm a school teacher.
Nice.
Currently, I'm a Hawaiian Studies resource teacher, and I've been in the DOE this is actually my 35th year.
Wow.
So I was a public school teacher. I did that for a long time, and then now I'm at the state office for Hawaiian education for the last 5 years.
That's amazing, especially, I give it up for teachers because I barely have enough patience for my own kids, let alone the whole classroom.
Now, right? We gotta,
Now we have bigger kids, but thank you for, I think you are an inspiration, just that alone, giving back to the community consistently, and then now starting to really turn the needle and start investing in yourself. So maybe walk us along, did you have a real estate experience prior to joining the HUI Mastermind, or give us a little bit of background on your real estate journey?
So I think about maybe 15 years ago, I signed up with Dean Graziosi.
Oh, yeah.
But I think I needed you guys. I needed local people to kind of hold my hand and just kind of walk me through it. And although I'm hearing kind of the same concepts I heard 15 years ago, I think the part that was missing was I think I needed somebody from Hawaii to kind of guide me. And so when I joined you guys, February 2024, did the HUI Mastermind that month. And then, I don't know, light bulb went off. And it's like, pretty much follow whatever you guys said. Whatever you guys say to do, I did it. So, and then I saw results from taking those steps. And and I feel like, cannot stop. Almost like whatever you do, like whether it's exercising or whatever, once you stop, hard to get back on again. So, so since February, been pretty much, following through on all the steps you guys teach.
Nice.
And so it's been pretty good. So far, so good.
So what does that look like? Have you found any deals, or walk us through where you're at as far as your portfolio right now?
Yeah. So after the HUI Mastermind finished in February, started following the steps that you guys teach, and I think the ending of April, beginning of May, we got our first property. I partnered up with someone else in the HUI. And then, so that property currently is being under construction. We bought a vacant lot on Hawaii Island. And right now it's being framed. The house is being framed. We're building a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house there in Ainaloa Estates. And so that's exciting, you know,
That's
see the home being built. So that's great. It's a great feeling. And then on Father's Day, June 16th, we got our second property, another vacant lot. So what we're going to try and do is try and pretty much copy what we're doing on the first property. No sense to reinvent the wheel.
Nope.
So we're going to follow that, and try and do all the same things. And then, and then this Saturday, I looked at a condo in Waipahu. So running some numbers in that, hoping to put in an offer maybe tomorrow or the next day.
Yeah.
So yeah, a couple of things going on. I found the property this morning, so I'm gonna ask Fuzzy to kind of take a look at it too. There's a house in Waianae, 3-bedroom, 1-bath. So yeah, a couple of things going on.
So, you know, like you was mentioning earlier, we were talking before we started the podcast that, you know, like we are, you know, Zasha and I open up our books of our contacts and share a little bit about, you know, with your experience with Simote, our contractor.
Yeah. Simote is a diamond, right? I mean, like, he went on this last walkthrough with me to the Waipahu condo, and I asked him if he could prepare 2 budgets. One, if we're going to hold on to the property and rent it out, and then a second list on if we're going to fix and flip it. So he's great, man. He ran 2 sets of numbers. So now just kind of finalizing all of the numbers and decide, you know, which direction we're going to go. Also help decide on what offer we're going to put in. But he's always been a good friend, even if I barely know him. He was going to go on another Hawaii Kai walkthrough, but we just couldn't make that work out. But, you know, he's always willing to help. So.
When I love that, like you said, you know, there's already a blueprint in place.
Yeah.
Through the HUI Mastermind as coaches, you know, in the community, we give all of our students the same access to our team as you know, the same kind of opportunities to go and look for deals or ways to do it and strategies. And I feel like you have just taken a lot of action just in a couple months, you know, from February till June, you said, is when you got that first property. Like, that's not that much time, but it just goes to show if you just follow the blueprint that we give and we have all the right team members in place, you can definitely have success. And maybe it's not meant for everyone to go that quickly, but you certainly you can.
Yeah, for sure. And I gotta mention, getting on the list from a realtor, Jade, has been just like Simote, just a diamond. You know, like, she sends you listings on a regular basis. So she helped us secure the second property. And so mahalo, Jade. Appreciate your support. Yeah.
It's huge to have a great team behind you. And, you know, that's what makes the wheels turn in our businesses, having the correct people that's in your team to help, you know, you accomplish your goals, or, you know, the end result, which is helping, like us. We want to help people that want to learn investing right here in Hawaii, and helping others to put them into houses that we build.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you had mentioned you were in another mentorship a while ago. You know, maybe you thought about it, but having someone local makes a huge difference as well. I know for me and Fuzzy, we were in mentorships, and I didn't really have anyone local to lean on, and that's what I was missing, because Hawaii's market is so different than everywhere else. You have to kind of learn almost a totally different strategy when it comes to this market, and the way that you do business is different. So in the mainland, you know, you can shoot your shot and kind of, you know, what do they call it? You can blindly kind of look for properties and maybe stumble upon a good one. But in Hawaii too, you have to be mindful of the owners, if you are doing stuff off market, how you approach them. And like we always say is there's a right way to do business in any business, but especially when you're dealing with real estate and people are struggling, just, living paycheck to paycheck here, and they're going through financial struggles. Like we always teach people is like, go through it the right way. Right. And so going through a realtor might be a little bit easier because then you already know the person's situation. And so I like that, you took Fuzzy's blueprint basically of buying land and doing the new build route, which, I mean, in all honesty, with the permitting, it goes pretty quickly once you kind of know the outline and the steps on what you need to do. And you have, you can have that, but without taking the action, you still won't get results. So it's also, big ups to you for taking the action and just
you and Spencer took action, As soon as you guys went through the class, I noticed, as soon as we walked through a couple of the properties, you're like, holy moly, put an offer, right? And everybody was trying to, you was trying to team up with, our JV with other students, which made me think hey, okay, Keola's taking action, and I'm willing to give more of our time or my time to people that show that they're interested in, learning this business. So all the rest of the HUI Mastermind students, I'll treat them the same way we treat you. It's just you guys got to take the action, show that you take the action, and the coach is going to put more time into you guys. So
when I think it's integral too to be around other people that are at the same level as you too, because you're learning all the same things and you really get to know, okay, who is someone that I'm compatible with to partner with, because not many partnerships are always, meant to be or work out, because you got to bring a strength and they got to bring a strength to the situation as well. And so I think that's another key to why it's important to having a community of people, especially that are in the same boat as you.
I was lucky, like Spencer and I, just by chance, I decided to stay an extra day after you guys took us on that training on Hawaii Island, and I just decided to stay another day. I've already looked at a bunch of properties. I already looked online at a bunch of properties, so I had 10 properties lined up that I wanted to look at the following day. So I decided to stay over. And Spencer said, hey, you mind if I came along with you? Come on down, man. He said, I got one truck. I said, oh, that's better yet, because I was going to rent one car. So he told me, hey, let's go look at the properties together. So it's good. We looked at all 10.
You guys with boots, right?
Yeah, guarantee. And then I think we ended up putting in offers on 7 of the 10 properties that we looked at. But yeah, just that first day was very educational, going to the properties, walking the property, and it was interesting. We saw all kinds of different properties, but that kind of started it all off, and it just happened by chance. We didn't plan on partnering up, but because he, said he wanted to come along, and he's over there, I'm on Oahu, things just work out. We both have strengths and weaknesses, and so far it's been very, very smooth. We've been very compatible, and I think we complement each other.
Nice.
And so yeah, so far so good.
Well, I think a lot of the success me and Fuzzy have seen and how we've been able to scale is through partnerships. Because when you try to do things alone, it is a lot tougher and harder to do multiple projects, because it does get challenging. You're limited by funding or experience, and then also just your stress. I don't think a lot of people realize how demanding, investing in real estate is, especially when you're doing new builds or major fixer-uppers. There's a lot of the project management that comes into play, and then also making sure you're on a budget and a timeline.
The timeline is super important, because one sub can just mess it all up, and you'll be waiting months, and then you're like, oh my gosh. And if you're using money that's from hard money, it's a little bit more tougher when it goes past, the deadline. Now you got to pay fees and then extend, and then in most cases, you end up losing money. But you come out winner because you learn a lesson from that.
Yeah.
So how did you fund your first couple deals? Because that's a question we always get, and people are always, oh man, but I don't have the money.
Yeah, that's a very good question. So the first property, we needed to come up with $150K. And so we just asked friends and family. Luckily, we found someone that kind of knew real estate a little bit. I think dabbled in it before. And once we told him, like what his return would be, he was all in. So we got our first $150K from him. From what I understand, came out of his retirement account. And so, we hope to finish the build soon, and so we can give him his money back. And then my partner, he's doing a HELOC. And then for myself, I just discovered through a self-directed IRA account, you can, in addition to using that account, you can also get checkbook control, which gives you a lot of freedom on, how you can invest your money and how quickly you can invest it. And that you don't have to fill out all of those forms every single time you need to withdraw money. So, so those are some of the ways. We're also looking at private money lender lists, so contacting them. We've got a couple of hard money lenders. I guess we'll bring them in when we need them. But so that's kind of how we're raising the funds.
When I think a lot of people don't realize that, even for you probably thought, oh man, I don't have money, like a lot of money to get started, but people don't even think about their retirement accounts, right? They think, oh, I can't touch that. And yes, if you roll it over and you're still working, there may be some fees that you have to pay up front, but it's well worth it if you're investing into something that's going to give you an even higher return.
Yeah, for sure.
Double digit returns.
For sure. The returns you can get on the real estate investing is higher than whatever you get if you just let it sit in an account. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody involved. And so, I think once you can educate other people about that higher return rate, what you're doing, how it's backed by the real estate, so they're pretty safe, then I think it's easier to persuade them to invest in you and your real estate investing.
Well, and it's an opportunity for them to make more money too. A lot of people we've spoken to are like, oh, people are just giving you money. And yes, they are like wiring it to us, but because they're going to get a return on their money, it's not like they're just lending it to you to help you out. They also get, a good amount of money for not having to do much in the project.
Yeah, I think like for me, it was I had to prove that I could do it. Right, and prove all of how much projects I did before any of my friends and family. Because in the beginning, they're like, "Bro, you crazy? You stupid, bro. What do you invested $26,000? Like, yeah, but I borrowed the money, so it wasn't my money. Like, yeah, you stupid. Like, I'm not too stupid after all.
But you're
smart,
right? Well, and it's pretty good that you did get friends and family, because even for me, starting off, my first private money lender was another investor, because he kind of knew how it worked and he looked over the deal. He was like, oh, this is a really good deal. Like, I'll lend to you. And so I didn't even really understand private money at that point, but he knew that he was going to get kind of a set return. It was backed by a really good real estate deal. And so that gave him comfort to do that. But that kicked off my confidence in going and approaching other people to lend money. And so I think it all starts with that first one. So you already got the first one under your belt, and then you leveraged, you're still leveraging other people's money, because your retirement account, yes, you may have contributed to it. And then if you have employee match, like you can still utilize that money, or your partner is utilizing a home equity line of credit. So it's equity in your home that you can't see, but you can still tap into that to then start investing in other things.
Yeah, there's so many ways that, you can skin a cat, my uncle tells me. So, there's just different ways that you can find money from people that they don't even know, right? Just educating yourself is important financially on how to get this money so that you can fund the deals that you find.
Yeah. I think, as we get more projects, then we gotta just kind of keep going as far as like finding that funding. I'm gonna say I asked a lot of people. Spencer asked a lot of people. A lot of people, I think, just like what you're saying, I think they're waiting for you to see how you do on your first project. You know, maybe your second project. So some of them, I think, maybe after they see the proof, then maybe they'll be more open to investing in your.
Well, you guys, I'm proud of you guys for taking that leap, the step into just, you know, putting in offers daily, weekly, and, you know, jumping into an, you know, brand new build. That's not easy, you know.
Yeah.
And, I mean, for me, I'm super stoked because, you know, a system that I've been using for 11 years, it's the same thing. It's boring to me because I can sleep and do this, but it makes me happy to see newcomers or people that, like I was in the beginning when I started, I'm able to share that knowledge with you like the developer did with me. So.
When I think, too, we have that abundance mindset because a lot of people think like, oh, if I join, are they going to share everything? Or is it one of those things where they share just enough and they hold back a little bit of information? We literally share everything and what we do and what's working right now in today's market. And that's why we are, you know, blessed to see other people implementing that and be able to change their lives. You know?
Yeah, I think that's what makes us different because there's a lot of people that's out there that teach, but they're scarcity mindset. So they hold some of the stuff that, you know, they like what we share, like most of them, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, trying to talk crap about them, but I'm just saying, you know, I've noticed programs that I've been a part of that, like, you know, on the coaching end, they only give you, you know, enough, just basic knowledge, you know, and that's what you pay for.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, like, if it wasn't for your guidance on doing a new build on Hawaii Island, like, I don't know if we would have gotten started to this point, but because you know, kind of held our hand, kind of pulled us through it, and then now you're kind of teaching us some of the things that, like you said, you've been doing for the last 11 years. It's, I think it built our confidence as well. And so I think that's why we're able to go out and get a second property. And I think that's kind of like keeping us moving. So mahalo for that.
Yeah, aloha, no worries.
Yeah.
So how did you get over that hump of, you know, people, you know, analyze deals and then look at things and they don't even get to the point of making an offer? How did you get over that fear of like, okay, I'm going to take this chance and try to get this property, right? And what if they accept it? I know a lot of people have fears of, oh shoot, what am I going to do after they accept it? Or did I make the right decision? They start freaking out. So how did you get over that to, you know, going there, making 7 offers, you know, getting one accepted? How was that feeling? And, you know, just kind of to help people getting started, how they get over that fear of even just putting in an offer.
Yeah. I think I was at a point in my life when
prices are getting more and more expensive right here in Hawaii, so there's no better way to learn real estate through coaches that are active right here in Hawaii.
So come join us today. We're excited to have you start your journey and be there to support you.
I was just willing to listen to whatever you guys said. So when we went on that
everybody listen to us.
He's a coachable.
Yeah. So we went to the Oahu training and went to Wahiwa and we looked at fix and flip that they were doing. And that place, man, you could tell the place was ugly.
You seen the finished product?
I never see them yet, but I would love to see it. But man, we saw the frame going up. We can tell, like, they're describing how the property looked, how it was a drug house and all that kind of stuff, and how happy the neighbors around them were so happy that they got them out. And so from there, we went to another Wahiwa house, and you know, you guys said, okay, run your numbers, do a walkthrough, do all this and that. So we did that, and then I don't know. I don't think I had any fear. I just listened to what you guys said, and you guys said put in offers. So I called Jake and I said, hey, can put in this offer, this Wahiwa property. She must have like, what the hell are you talking about? But she put in the offer. Of course, it didn't get accepted. But I thought, Yeah, that wasn't too bad,
Right.
you know?
For your first one.
Yeah,
Just
like,
like,
just
throw
put
it
it
out,
forward.
see
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it's 6, you know?
Yeah, they said, you guys told us, find a deal and the money will come. So I just trusted that line. And so put in the offer. I didn't
With
get
work,
accepted.
though, with
Oh, you can never say that.
No,
You
but
just leave that part out.
no, but you know, finding the deal a correct deal, right?
Yeah.
At a good price, so that
Yeah,
like no matter what, if you find a great deal, money gonna follow. So
yeah, yeah.
but you did. You took action. I remember you talking to all the other students over there, and then you did put in that offer. So
Yeah. We put in that offer in it. So when we went to Hawaii Island, I just put in the offers because the worst you can get is no, and then the best you can get is yeah. And then once you get yeah, then I'm going to you guys. Okay, how do I get the money now?
Well, that's what we're here for. Is not to do it for you, right?
Yeah.
We're giving you the blueprint, what works for us, giving you different strategies that you can apply, but it's on you to decide, okay, what am I going to do? I need to analyze the deal. I need to put in the offers.
Yeah.
And then from there, we're here to guide you,
Yeah.
right? To, okay, maybe try this step. Or I know a lot of people just get caught up in their own head of like,
Yeah.
oh man, I can't do it. And that's what we're here to encourage people. It's a lot of it is a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, if you never went to the program and someone's like, hey, do you want to buy a piece of land on Hawaii Island and go do a new build, you'd be like, oh my God, no. Like that's, I don't know what to do, or I wouldn't know who to contact, but we give that all to our students. And that is the number one key thing whenever I linked up with Fuzzy was like, oh my gosh, you already have a good system. Why don't we share it with our students and people that want to learn? And he was like, what, Tita?
No, I got a good secret.
Hey, what you know your secrets?
And that's, my good friend Simonte, in fact, he goes, bro, loose lips sink ships. So, so I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, man, I should have just put that in my mouth. But, the thing is, it's created more open opportunities for many people that came to our bus tour, came to our HUI Mastermind program. We've had over 100 plus students that came through, to learn from me and Zasha, who are passionate about our locals that want to learn this business and, get to the level that me and her is at, because it can be done. Right now, this studio is where, like this is where I lived when I came out of my mom's house after prison, right? I was able to rent this place right here. And now I got it back as our studio to, record this podcast. So it's crazy. It's a full circle. And it proves that if you put in the learn from the right people, education, right, financially, and then taking action, you can do it.
And I think it's that belief in yourself. Like you said, you got to have self-confidence, and that's why you lean on us. And that's why we highly suggest that people lean on us, because we have the experience. We've been where you're at. And even just getting your first deal, it's so exciting, right? And a lot of times you might not have many people that you can share it with in your close circle, or they might not understand, what exactly you're doing, or they love you, but they're scared for you, like, oh, what if something happens? And so having a community of people, I think, definitely has been a game changer for especially newbies starting off. And even for us, when we were starting off, we're like, man, we wish we would have had a bigger group of local people that are doing it for the right reasons. We're all on the same path, aligned, and, doing it the right way. And so I think that's what we see in you guys, is making sure that you guys are doing it for the right reasons. And for us, we're just blessed that we're able to help other people build wealth and change the trajectory of their lives and their families' lives in the future. I remember thinking it was impossible for me to buy a house, in Hawaii, that I would never be able to afford it. Or once I bought a house, it's like, okay, all these rich people have rentals, why can't I have a rental and rent it out to people on Section 8? And I did it. So it's like every time you get stuck kind of in the mentality of going back to how you grew up, and just, we want to help people just stay out of that mindset, because it seems corny, like you can do anything, but you really can. And a lot of times we just did a goal setting workshop where people put together vision boards and things. And before I used to think that was like really hippie stuff. But like after doing it after a while, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put a big cruise ship up here. I'm going to put bigger pockets over here. I'm going to put apartment, like one day I'll own an apartment building. That literally came that next year.
Yeah.
So all of those things have happened in the last couple of years. I'm like, oh my God, I could have never, like, if you would have told me that while I was working my 9 to 5, you know, every day grinding, I would be like, man, you know, when I retire, and that's like 65, you know, I'm 38 right now. So I'm like, it can happen way sooner if you have your goals in place, have a direction, and have the right guidance. And so we're very proud of you and all of our students who are taking action and just proving, you know, what we already know to be true, but also, you know, just doing it the right way.
Yeah. I think a couple of things stood out from the very beginning. One is your mission, like your mission to provide local families with affordable housing. So I think for me, that's a driving force. And then I think the second thing is knowing that the two of you guys don't have to do this, right? You guys are already successful, but the fact that you guys are doing it with aloha, sharing it with, you know, other local people to help local people buy affordable housing. I mean, that's just super amazing. So it's not that hard to follow you guys, man. Just think about those two things, man. Like easy. Right. Whatever you guys say, jump, how high?
Yeah.
Whatever you guys ask, we're doing it.
I was always taught, don't forget where you come from.
Yeah.
Always give back and spread the aloha.
When even if we can help people to think a different way, there's a few people who, you know, are struggling or are on Section 8 or HUD that have joined our program and are thinking, man, like, how do I get out of this? Or they called us up, they're like, oh, we can't afford, like, how are we going to buy something?
It's a mind
like,
shift.
There's creative ways, or even more recently, I found out through HUD, they have a program where even if you have a voucher and you're receiving assistance, they can help you to purchase a home. I'm not an expert by any means, but I tell all my renters, like, hey, have you looked into this program? And like, we have no idea. I was like, me neither. Yeah. So I love to just share the education and share new programs or things that I learned with my renters too. And even during COVID, when I learned there was rental assistance, I'm like texting them or like messaging them or emailing them like, hey, did you see this rental assistance program? You know, go and apply. And so for me, it's just, like I just said, just like doing what is right and helping other people succeed and just try to get ahead, because I know, you know, growing up, we've seen our family and friends and parents just struggling. So if we could have been give them a little bit of advice to help bring them up, we're more than open to doing that.
Yeah. Big up on you.
A couple of things I would say, like for those that are maybe struggling, maybe they were in the HUI, but they haven't taken as much action. So like I remember during our HUI, I started a text group. And so one thing is to like have a HUI of people and then just try to like anything that comes up, a meetup or, you know, a showing or a training or whatever it is, try and keep in communication. You want to keep in contact with like-minded people. And, you know, when everybody's going through the HUI, we're all kind of on the same page. And then if you're fortunate enough to get a partner, that's always good because you can always lean into each other. Whether it's good days or bad days, you can always share, you know, what's going on. And then the third thing is like, you know, stay in touch with you guys, right? A little bit easier to get in touch with, a little bit harder. But try your best to keep in touch with both
I'm on
of
the
them.
Thursday call, the weekly Thursday call.
He was tripping out when she was texting you. It's like, what?
I have a contact number?
No, you don't.
This is a business line. Yeah. She's going to check with you. Okay.
No, but that's the thing that we want to, you know, put on the students too. It's like, we can only do so much, but you got to take the action. And we love to see people just trying to figure it out themselves, because that's the next time they're going to remember it. Yeah. And of course, we're here for support, but, you know, everyone is in different financial situations. They have different risk tolerances. So what might be right for one student might not be right for the next. So you really got to take it upon yourself and decide, you know, what direction you want to go, and be aware of the risks, because there are risks, right? And how are you going to pivot if anything does happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, as one of our, HUI Mastermind alumni, we can call you. What can Zasha and I help you with? Mainly, I know I answer my phone, so I was speaking to you. No worry about it now. No, what can we do to help you at this point to whatever it is,
Yeah. So I think when we got our first deal, and then we kind of was working it to see how we can get the funding. But I think now that we get our second deal, we're trying to figure out how we're going to fund all of this, right? And then looking at one third one, it's so I think one area that I could use support in is how to get access to more funding. I don't know if there's a magic answer to that. I'm trying to do all the things that you taught us, emailing people, private money lender lists. We contacted hard money lenders. Sarah said, "Oh, Fuzzy's not on the deal? Oh, we cannot lend to you."
So no, I think there's Tambourine with Conventus that is open to lending, to you guys. So I think that's one option that you guys can look at. But for me, what I would suggest for you is that every person you come into contact, you just never know, right? Your family, your friends, people that you like in an elevator or just meet. There's like a 5-second pitch, right?
Yeah.
Hey, what you do for a living? They tell you, they ask you what you do for a living. You say, hey, I put local families in homes, and I give my lenders double-digit returns on their money.
Yeah.
Would you like to know how?
Yeah.
And from there, it just sparks up a question on how you can, you never know. They might have HELOC, they might have 401k,
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, social media has been huge. I've raised probably about $7 million in the past few years just through Instagram. And so that's why I focus heavy, and he has more recently too on content. Mm-hmm. And so even the video content has been huge, but you kind of are sharing who you are, right? Social media doesn't only need to be about business. For me, it's sharing that factor that will get them to know who you are, like you, trust you, and then be able to lend. And so I readily, if I post, a reel, and this has taken time now, this haven't been overnight, but I have been providing value and how people can get started. Hey, do you want to be active? Mm-hmm. Or like you guys just did, right? Like you tapped into your retirement. Your partner tapped into a home equity line of credit. So you just educating people, and the easiest way for them to find out information is for free on social media. So you don't have to physically go in and contact every single person, which would be great. Mm-hmm. But I think the more people learn about it, the more open they'll be. And like you just experience with your first private lender was like, oh, okay, they see the benefits and the potential returns, and they trust you guys already. So I think just working on more of that trust building within people that your network, go to networking events. A lot of my private lenders have come from networking events as well, where they've consistently seen me add value, or, hey, how can I help you? Not going over there and be like, hey, I need money for this project. Are you willing to lend? We'll give this return, but switching the script and saying like, oh, how can I help you? And then in turn, once you do start helping them, or maybe when you ask the question, they'll say, hey, well, what do you need help with? Right. So I think that'll help you tremendously. And on Oahu, there's so many different meetups that you can go to, and a lot of them are free.
Yeah, and you can use us as credibility. And when I started, that's what I did. I used Fortune Builders as my credibility of look at all the projects that I'm doing with a group of people that we network with that is in this business, who's been doing it for many years, who's experienced, who's educated, and buy properties correctly, so that there's a bunch of exit strategies to get your money back, and it's secured or backed by real estate. So the projects that you have here, you can walk people through, right? The project we have in Kalihi. Take people there, hey, this is what we're doing, because you're part of the HUI, you're part of Zasha. And, me, our program, we want you to succeed. So you can go over there and walk people through who may be interested in lending, and show them, hey, here's a fixer-upper, or have, Spencer come, Big Island, look our project, our brand new project, And we've done many of these over and over and over. And
we're coached by people that have the experience to lean on.
Yeah.
So it's not, that you're not telling the truth, but you can say that
you're part of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're part of the team, right? So use us as credibility, because that'll help people trust you more.
Yeah. Trust me, I mention you guys' name every single time.
Right. Well, I think that's the thing about it, is like, we're here for you and just giving you those little tidbits. Or a lot of times I tell people, hey, post in your story, like DM me the word land if you're looking to make double-digit returns on your money backed by real estate. It's
once you
simple
step
phrase,
into that, and that's how I learned too, from her. Like, she told me, bro, just press record, tell them about your projects, and DM me the word, lend. Believe it or not, I've gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars of people after I post a video wanting to lend to me. So
follow my advice.
But before I followed her advice, I had to go follow her coach first. And pay him money.
But yeah, I think putting yourself out there, even initially, I wasn't comfortable at all. But I just learned that that's a bigger purpose that I have, and I'm not that skilled in construction management or, doing the work on rehab. So what else do you need in a deal? You got to find the deal, you got to fund the deal, you manage the project, and the exit strategy. And so for me, I focus on the money, because I also didn't want to spend too much time finding deals, because that takes a lot of energy too. So I thought, okay, where can I fit in with this? And raising money has just been something that I hone in on, I focus on, and that's how I partner with other people that have different skill sets than me. And people ask, well, how do you own RV parks and office buildings and getting into these 32 lots? I'm like, because of my partners. They're the experts in finding those types of deals and managing them and building them. I help to bring the money, and it's a lot of times a lot of money. So that could be an area too. If you feel like you don't have enough expertise, or maybe don't have the wherewithal or time to go and look for deals, networking with people that potentially do have money, or even like you mentioned, your family and friends that don't even realize that they have retirement money. Like they might, I don't have any money in my checking and savings. It's like, okay, do you have a retirement fund? And what does that look like? Because I remember when I looked at my retirement after I left my job, I kind of just left it there. And when I left my job, I think it was like $107,000. 2 years later, I was like, oh, I think I still have a retirement account. I didn't even realize it, because a lot of times when you're working your job, put money in, you don't even think about it, because you're like, when I'm 65, then I'll look at it. But 2 years later, it went down to $79,000. And so I was like, oh, hell no, I'm pulling it out, because I know how to make my money make more money.
And we're all like, you're a school teacher, or, you've been an educator, like, and it's nothing against our school system or what. I mean, you guys put the time to help our Kiki, and get the education. But the education for becoming financially set is, I think we're lacking, because we're ingrained to go work for somebody for, like she said, right? You retire at 65. Not, oh man, hey, look, this kid can, 10 years old, making millions of dollars on social media by posting videos of them playing games, which my daughter is doing. I'm like, how much millions?
Like kids watching other kids play with toys.
Video games, or like Ryan's Toys, right? Like that kid lives in Maui. He's like super rich because the parents like, hey, Ryan's Toys reviewed, and they just kept going, consistency, and look at them today,
Yeah. So I think that goes to the importance of thinking outside the box. Like nowadays, you need multiple streams of income to be able to survive.
Yeah.
And so we are very blessed to be able to teach other people about investing in real estate, the possibility of doing it right here at home in Hawaii, but also, just blessed to see you guys start building that wealth as well. So super proud.
Yeah.
So stoked to see that, what we're teaching is working,
Yeah.
Yourself, Spencer, and then a couple of the other students, we know that it's not easy. Life hits you, cracks you, and, in the face, up, down, left, right. But if you're consistent and you take action, you fall down, you get back up, right? You just gotta keep going, because I know it can be, I know for sure it can be done. I mean, I'm a living testament. Like, dude, I know it can be done. It's just, you cannot give up.
Yeah.
What's an inspirational quote, or even maybe a book that helped keep you going through some of the challenging times, and sometimes where you might have thought, man, maybe this is not for me?
Well, although I haven't read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, I did go to training. And so Robert Kiyosaki was leading it. And, I don't know if he did anything different than what you guys taught us. I think I ran into it maybe simultaneously during your training. But it was just nice to see it confirm, all the things you guys are teaching are things that he's teaching. He did provide a real estate calculator, but, we got our calculator from Bigger Pocket. So, it's just, I think, reassuring that, your system works.
And it works for Hawaii.
And it works for Hawaii.
Is probably an overview. And that's what a lot of coaching programs provide. Right. It's foundational for everything. But I think for us, it's more important to focus on what works here. Specifically in Hawaii.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why when I first took the training 15 years ago, he's in Scottsdale, Arizona. And so I know they can invest throughout all of the United States, but I think I needed something that worked here. And so I think through your training, that's what I think I needed at the time, And so, it was just implementing the steps and then, like what you guys always say, taking action.
Right.
That's the keys.
So where can people find you if they want to learn more about you or your story, or potentially lend you money?
Lend you money.
Oh, yeah. Go through Zasha, if you can find her. Let's see. I have my Facebook account, Ola Kauhane. You can find me there on Facebook. That would probably be the best way to contact me. Yeah, and please contact me if you're to lend money.
Hey, don't say we ever never help you.
Yeah.
Well, so we thank you for coming on the podcast. We only look forward to seeing you succeed in Brand New Build and many more projects, and hope to see you get millions of dollars to be loaned from other people, right?
Mahalo. It's my pleasure.
Thank you for watching us on Investing in Hawaii, our podcast right here for you, our Hawaii people. If you like this show, click the like button. Please subscribe or share with anyone you feel would be stoked to listen to this information. But hey, if you want to sign up or get involved with real estate, we have a program right here. We started a HUI Mastermind Academy. We'd love to have more people come and join and see you guys succeed right here in Hawaii and build some financial wealth and generational wealth and whatever you call it to stay right here in Hawaii. See you guys in the next one, I guess. Aloha.